Hi, I'm Hazel, and this is a guide to the Ulgrax fight in Nerub-ar Palace on normal and heroic difficulty. This is our first boss of the War Within, and he's pretty much just a big hungry bug. In Phase 1, he'll smack his tank with Brutal Crush. That's a physical tank buster that applies 20 stacks of a debuff, which then tick down over time. You can swap tanks after each cast if you like, or just whenever it starts to really hurt. Venomous Lash does a little raid damage to keep the healers awake. Stalker's Webbing fires out swirls for you to dodge, which then spawn webs for you to avoid. Watch your feet. Digestive Acid will dot a few players and put these green rings on them. After 6 seconds, those do an AoE and remove any webs in the circle. Run your rings over the webs and not your friends. Carnivorous Contest marks a player for a meteor-style soak. Have a bunch of people, preferably ranged, get into that to help share damage and then fight against the pull that follows. Putting more people in the soak reduces the strength of the pull-in. If you do get pulled or just wander under the boss during this, he will eat you. Don't be too close. It is possible to use the webs on the ground to stick yourself during the pull, but that's honestly kind of extra. Being in mid-range and fighting against it works just fine. When the boss runs out of energy, Hulking Crash does raid damage and knocks you back from the middle of the room. Get out of the mid, somewhere between these floor border thingies is fine. Farther players will take less damage, but don't go crazy far out and get booped off the edge. That brings us into Phase 2. The boss is basically immune during this phase, so your job is to survive, and then eventually feed him enough to get him back to Phase 1. We'll look at the snack situation in a sec. He dives into and out of the floor in these void rifts, don't be in those. His Juggernaut charge is going to send him strafing across the room in a big, wide line attack. It is massively telegraphed, and all you gotta do is get out of the way. Meanwhile, we get little bug ads. Tanks can gather those up. Feel free to stun and CC them to interrupt their bleed attack, and kill them as quick as you can. When dead, the bugs explode into gore, which you can pick up and carry around. Bring it to the front of the boss once he's back, and then use your extra action button to feed him his snack. He's been bellowing out raid damage that hurts more every time, so hop to it. Once his tummy's full, he feels much better, and we're back in Phase 1. On normal, that's it. And on heroic, that also appears to be it. Happy first boss, everybody. Thanks for watching. I've got more raid guides if you want them, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.